The last two units in the trig review are law of sines and law of cosines. So as a reminder, law of sines is if you have any triangle. So law of sines and law of cosines both work for non-right triangles. When we're looking at the triangle, the only thing you really need to remember is that angle A is across from side A, angle B is across from side B, and angle C is across from side C. And then you just set up the ratio of the sine of A over the side across from it equals the sine of B over the side across from it, which equals the sine of C over the side across from it. Or you can flip those, which could be helpful when you're solving for sides. We also have an additional area of a triangle formula. So the traditional one that you know is area equals 1/2 base times height. But if you don't have the height and you know the side, angle, side, meaning the angle that you know is included between the two sides, you can find the area of the triangle using the formula at the bottom here, 1/2 times the two sides times the sine of the angle. So we're going to start with some basic law of sines. We're going to solve for side length D. So I need the angle across from D, so I'm going to start with the sine of 47 over D equals, and then I just need any other opposite angle side pair, which I have for E. So the sine of 68 over 3. So to solve, we're going to cross multiply. So we have D times the sine of 68 equals 3 times the sine of 47. Dividing both sides by the sine of 68. Make sure your calculator is in degree mode. Hopefully we all got that solved. And I got D as approximately 2.366. So when you're solving for sides, for me, please give me 3 decimal places. Anytime you solve for an angle, you can round to 1 decimal place. All right, example 2, we're going to look at solving the entire triangle. So finding all missing sides and angles. You need to know a side angle opposite pair in order to use law of sines. I have that, so I'm going to start with the sine of 106 over 5.3. And then looking at P, I don't know the measure of angle P or side P, so I have to start by solving for the measure of angle N. So that would be the sine of angle N over the side across from it, which is 1.5. Again, this time instead of cross multiplying, I'm just going to multiply both sides by 1.5 to get that out of the denominator because my variable is already in the numerator. Now here I would recommend getting a decimal approximation. I did not do that because I keep track of things in my calculator and get less rounding error. But for you, I would highly recommend getting a decimal approximation here. So type all that into your calculator, and then what you would do is you would take the sine inverse of whatever that decimal is. Unless you really want to try and punch all this in your calculator at once. So for the measure of angle N, I got 15.8 degrees. So to solve for the third angle in the triangle, I just used the triangle sum theorem, 180 minus 106 minus 15.8, and I got 58.2 degrees. So now I can solve for my last side, setting up law of sines again. You could use angle N, but I rounded to get the measure of angle N. So I like to use the information I was given in the first place, and then you get a little bit less rounding error. So to solve for P, we use angle P over side P, cross multiplying to get that variable out of the denominator. And then dividing both sides by the sine of 106, I'm not going to rewrite all of that. We get P is approximately 4.686.